Thanks again for stopping by, everybody. This is Budget Wine with Bacchus Bruce. Really pleased to have you here today. We have a good-looking red blend. This is the 2014 Marvelous Red coming out of South Africa. I got this for a really crazy $3.99 at the grocery outlet here in Hayward, California. And kind of wondering why so cheap. I mean, we seem to be asking that question a lot here at Budget Wine. So, let's dig a little bit and kind of find out why. Kind of looking at the package, they do have a kind of a fun marketing blend. They do a marvelous white, a marvelous pink, as well as a marvelous blue, which is a different blend of red grapes. And it kind of seems like something you'd probably see in a supermarket sort of setting in the South Africa area. Kind of an everyday sort of wine, I would imagine. I did see a website that's selling this wine in the rand, the South African currency, for about $8. So to get it for half of that price, it's always great. Kind of lowers the risk a little bit in case it's not so good, but I have a feeling it's going to be quite good. So let's talk about the blend a little bit. So it is essentially a GSM, a Grenache Syrah Mourvèdre, with a little bit of a twist. So the Grenache portion is actually just 15%. The Syrah is 39%. The Mourvèdre 10%. But what we do have is a Cinsault, which is at 35%, with just a smidge of Viognier at 5%. So Cinsault is a varietal that you're not seeing as much these days in the marketplace in its home of the Rhone Valley in France. It's becoming increasingly less planted. Cinsault historically has been what they call a workhorse varietal. So it definitely gives you some high production and a lot of fruit. If you do want to kind of extend out your blend a little bit, make it not such a serious concentrated style and a little bit more of an everyday style. And essentially that's kind of what we have here. So let's go ahead and see what we have on the nose on this good looking wine here. And we have some pretty obvious brambly raspberry fruit. But you also have a lot of herbaceousness, which again is kind of typical for a GSM sort of style. Rhone wines tend to be a little bit sometimes difficult for American consumers to kind of understand because they're not so fruit forward and they're not so gushy. It's really kind of more kind of an earthy style, more suitable for food. So we do have definitely a lot of herbaceousness on the nose, which is really terrific. And it is done with a neutral oak, so you're not going to get a whole lot of that sweetness that you get from new oak, but you do get a little of that barrel char. So I'm getting just a little hint of tar actually on the nose, which is wonderful, right up my alley. So let's go ahead and see what we have on the palate here. And we've got a medium-bodied wine that has very nice acidity, all things considered, and it does have kind of a nice berry kind of note that kind of focuses right through your palate, finishing with a lot of herbaceousness and a little a barrel char. So really, a lot going on here. And as you can imagine, with 5 varietals, you should have a lot going on if the winemaker has succeeded in the blend. And I think you've got a really great wine here. It's quite terrific. On the finish, you get a really kind of high acid, high note, which makes me think it's going to be a terrific food pair. It also has a little bit of kind of that green olive sort of component, as well as, again, some of that kind of brambly berries. So really a very pleasant wine, very pleasantly surprised here, coming from just modest expectations to really a delicious wine. So again, $3.99, the Marvelous Red 2014 vintage, grocery outlet here in Hayward. And thanks for stopping by. This is Budget Wine with Bacchus Bruce. Have a wonderful rest of your day.